You know, you could probably make primitive people in Blender just with little basic boxes. You know, like a box for the head and like a little rectangle for an arm. It probably look just as good as if you were to load, like say, make human 2.0 and make some low poly people. Which I think there's already like a low poly model in here, if I'm remembering right. One of these, well, that's the clothing. One of these modeling. Um, I have to remember where it's at. Topologies. Here we go. 741 polyman. That's what that stands for. Uh, that's pretty low poly. I'd probably put some. I guess I could put some material on him. A texture. And clothes. Damn, I get confused in here. Dang it. Just stick some casual thing on there. I ain't gonna worry about the textures and all that good stuff. And I'm not worrying about armatures either. I mean, you could animate it with an armature. I mean, I guess I could. It just takes more processes and stuff with a armature. I'll do the simplest way first, the way I did it in my other track. So I'll go to save this thing, export as a, I'll let's see, FBX. And where is that going to? Let's stick it on the desktop in its own folder. Let's call it fan. And this would be me, I guess. So now I just need to export, import him into Blender. FBX. Now I can tell you he's too tall. I can tell you that. From the get-go, he's too tall. And needs to be subdivided probably a little bit more. If you want a bunch of them, you want to subdivide. I mean, not subdivide. Uh, decimate, reduce the poly count. But let's see, how many is he now? Well, he's got different parts now. Let's get them all combined first. That is not what the texture is going to be called when I'm done with it. I'll just call this, I'll give it my name. What is that one? That's actually the clothes, so. And that's the skin. I won't worry about converting this thing yet. I'll do that later. The materials, I ain't gonna fool with doing that now. I think the reason I didn't fool with this before is because maybe those aren't power of two. And if they're not power of 2, then they have to be a PNG or a JPEG, and you don't want them a JPEG because then they'll alias really bad. Alright, now the next thing, joining them together. The UV maps have to be the same, which they're not. So we'll copy these UVs and we'll make the ones under here be those UVs. So now when we join, it will keep the texture UVs for both of them. We don't need, what is that, the eyeballs? I don't think we even need those. Those are high poly mesh. I ain't worried about the eyes. You ain't gonna be that close to them. You don't need the light or the camera. I'm gonna change the name of the mesh to me. And now I'm gonna try to animate him a little. Now, if you want to run into this thing and knock it over, then it has to be made into a mod. Which I would just do like in the other video. I'd just make him inside of an ice cube. You wouldn't want all these to have ragdoll physics and be all out there and stuff. It wouldn't work. And as a mod, he ain't gonna animate. So I'd rather just make him a track asset where he can animate and stuff. So what I'll do now is import in the car from the game so I can get the size of the person right. Scale them down to about there. Maybe that's about right. Maybe make them just a tad bit taller. I'm gonna set the origin to the 3D cursor. Set the origin to the 3D cursor. Apply all transforms. 2 textures to make, so let's do that real quick. That is, I'll take this material, go into that folder, paste it. I'm gonna take these out of here, put them in here, and I have to copy this to the clipboard because I ain't gonna remember that. Go into here, and this will be our first texture. Oops, oh, that's not where that goes. That's what that goes. That goes there. That goes there. Just paste it there and there. Now we need a second texture, so we'll put a bracket and a comma. And paste that here. Then that'll be close. And I ain't no way I remember what that material's name is. I'll have to look at it. That is diffuse. I ain't worrying about the normal map for it. Just color diffuse map. Make sure, is that the right name? Close. Yeah, that is right. So that'll load in the game, but it won't move. So what I'll do, I'll turn on like animate. I'll take this thing into edit mode, and maybe I don't know, cut one arm off and have one arm rotate like it's kind of moving. Or maybe make things easier and not do that and just have him kind of pivoting on one foot, kind of moving left to right. So we only need like 60 frames of animation for that. So we'll go to like frame 30 We'll rotate him like this way a little. Frame 0 or frame 1. Let's just rewind it. Frame 1, maybe he is over here. And he kind of moves like that, and then he moves back. So copy this frame, paste it at the end. So we get a like this kind of thing going. So, oh yeah, let's look at his poly count. 2,550. Goodness. Well, my friend, you're going to have to be reduced. You're going to have to get a Ubisoft, what they call it, where they show you how the game looks at the E3 and it looks great, but then the game releases and they reduce the quality. I forgot what they called that. They did that with what's that damn game? The hacker guy. You know the one I'm talking about. Damn, what can I think of the name of that? Watch Dogs. Yeah, Watch Dogs was notorious for that. So maybe me up close looks better than me far away. I could make some LODs for this. I could do that. But damn, 2,000's a lot. Let's start with at least like only 800. So this would be a underscore A 500, and I'll apply this one. I'll duplicate him, and this one will be A250. Which is the size in pixels he'll be before he changes to his new LOD. This one I'll reduce a lot. You might want to hide the first one when you do this so that you can see what it, how the results are looking. So that'll be that one. And I can even make it go a step farther and do a billboard where he's farther away. Alright, so I have to add a plane axis. I had to add 3 empty plane axes. Call one base 0, 0, the other start 0, 1. The other BB underscore auto billboard 25. Actually, I'll make this 100. That one 500. Hold shift, left click, drag and drop. Put start into base. Put BB auto billboard into base. So the BB auto billboard's in base, along with start 0, 1. It's also in base. These two you move into start. Now the A underscore A and the number is essential for the LOD management. And if you want it to have billboards, then the billboard has to be here. Which does the time that changes to that and that changes to that depends on the size that the thing is on the screen at the time. And I never get it quite right the first time. I got to come back and adjust the damn settings because it'll either switch to a billboard too fast or it ain't far enough away before it switches, and so. But this all is ready to go. I don't think anybody wants a collision mesh for the damn guy, but if you wanted one, you could just duplicate one of these. But since I reduced the poly count with a decimate, I used the planner. I wouldn't advise using that. I would just say if you want something there to run into, then maybe we can make something like this, like a cube. Scale it like this and basically make that the body, the collision mesh. That does not need animation. We'll move this into start, and that'll be our collision mesh, and we can give it a custom ground model, so it's not like hitting a brick wall. It'll be like hitting like a mound of snow or something. Maybe a little more realistic than a body being like a brick wall, which is not realistic. Export as collider. Alright, we'll put them in this folder. It all looks fine. Now let's load the game, but first we got to say, okay, where's this fan going to be cheering at? Let's take him and let's drop him in the snow track. In the art folder, so he's in his own little folder. Got the perfect little place for the guy to be cheering already. Right over here behind the fence. I probably moved some of these fences. I'm moving closer to the track in places so that you know, if you can see them a little better. Alright. Get our #1 fan out there. I gotta do that. Did I export that as a FBX? I know that ain't compatible with anything. That'd be some shit if it was, though. Oh man, I figured something out too. No, I know that's not the case. Where did I export him to? Oh, on the desktop. Not in the... Wait a minute. I don't know what I did. I'd be lying if I said I did, but I don't know what I did. Let us go to art, fan. Let's re-export it again. I thought I did that. Well, there I am. #1 fan. If we get farther away, his LOD change to the low 80 polygon version, and we get 25 away, it's just a 2-dimensional sprite. So I think that's pretty successful. Yeah, I think. And the #1 fan right there gonna root for me when I go by. So make a few of these. I would have a few different ones with different colors, different, hairstyles, whatnot. And maybe some taller, some heavier, some, various shapes and sizes and whatnot. Right, so the next thing is the material. I can give it a custom ground model like I did my snow bushes. This is that snow 2. Since it's got multiple textures and they both need to be the same. Snow 2. Now the thing is, there's so many polygons between all of them that if you run into it, probably going to cause some slowdown on the game. That's a lot of calculation. But let's redo a collision. I forgot to do Let's try to run into him. We should gently, yeah, not like hitting a brick wall. This is like hitting in a snow pile. And yeah, they'll stop the car, but not like, I gotta get my control. Okay.